You're listening to Podcast PXN, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Let's do this. What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 40. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined by the pride of PlayStation, Sean Babiak, and over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado, Sean Roro.
You said it
What's
correctly this
going
week.
on, guys? Yeah, I did say it.
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Cool.
All I have to say is bug snacks.
Oh, God, that trailer.
What was the trailer?
Cringe-worthy, the bug snack.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
I already put that on my memory.
Yes. That
Oh, I'm
was,
sorry. It's
that
back.
was- yeah.
I love when my hand turns into a hamburger.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone watching live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every I almost said Wednesday, but it's sometimes Thursdays week on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN and you will find us on there. The topic of the show this week is The Last of Us Part 2 reviews. But first, the show always starts with the PXN news of the week. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The first item on the PXN news of the week is AT&T is seeking the sale of Warner Brothers gaming division, which includes a lot of really good developers, including Rocksteady Games. It also includes NetherRealm, who makes Mortal Kombat. Some very good franchises and
W Montreal,
developers.
too.
Yes, absolutely.
Who's that rumored Harry Potter game?
Yeah, and then the Lord of the Rings developer as well, the Shadow of War and Mordor games, Monolith. But anyways, apparently EA, Take-Two, and Activision have reportedly gotten some interest in this. So I just thought it was kind of interesting. Out of those three, which one do you guys think would be the best one for them to...
That's such a hard decision.
Yeah.
Rocksteady, of course.
Well, no. Which
those
publisher
three?
out of EA, Take-Two, and Activision do you...
I'm putting a fourth, and I think Sony needs to make a play for Rocksteady.
Oh, for just Rocksteady.
They need to make a play.
Okay.
Or Xbox, honestly.
Yeah.
Some first party needs to take them up, because
So you think,
that's a win.
You think Warner Brothers is going to piecemeal it out instead of selling everything?
I have a feeling, yeah. I mean, the only thing that's, from what I was reading, was the trippy part is the actual Harry Potter license, because of whatever, some agreement with who owns it itself, because it's not obviously Warner Brothers. It's like something that they have to like release a game within like the next like 2 years or something like that. But I mean, I probably would give it more to Take-Two, but I think Take-Two also has, they're kind of like the smaller world version of EA and Activision at this point. They have their fingers in a lot of stuff.
Roro, what do you think? I know we're like the Brady Bunch here. We have you up here. Roro? Hello? Do you hear him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't hear him. What the heck? I lost...
Yeah, I hear them.
What?
Wow. I hear you. Yeah, you're good. I hear you completely. Daniel, again, doesn't know how to work technology.
Oh my god. Not again. Why did it disconnect? What the fuck? Why? Okay, now I hear him again. What is happening?
That is so funny.
It disconnected my fucking headphones for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, is your headphones?
Maybe it my AirPods. Maybe it lost the line of sight. All right. Well, we're gonna retry that. All right. Jesus Christ. All right. So every week something goes wrong. Every week. I swear to God. You can't make this shit up. All right. So we'll rewind to the first news story part. All right. So
I have nothing to offer.
we're gonna pretend that nothing happened.
Okay, I wish you luck with that.
Oh, Jesus. This is awful episode. Anyways, the first item on the PXN news of the week is AT&T is seeking the sale of Warner Brothers gaming division, which includes a lot of great developers. I don't know if you knew that or not, Sean.
I haven't heard about it.
Yeah, you haven't heard it before. But Rocksteady, there's all kinds of NetherRealm Studios. You got Montreal studio of Warner Brothers. You also have the Lord of the Ring game developer, which is Monolith. A lot of great developers, a lot of great properties. Apparently, EA, Take-Two, and Activision are reportedly interested in going after that. I don't know if you guys had heard that or not yet.
No, we haven't even discussed it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the first time we've ever discussed this. But what do you guys think? Who out of those three would you guys think would be the best place for Warner Brothers to sell to?
Don't you mean AT&T?
Or AT&T, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you watch John Oliver? You don't watch John Oliver?
No.
I just love how he always calls AT&T business daddy. He like dumps all over AT&T all the time.
Yeah.
But I would say Take-Two in this instance. Obviously, they let Rockstar do their thing when it comes to which granted any developer would at this point with it being as selling as it does. But I also do hope that it's some first-party studio like Sony or Microsoft for Rocksteady itself.
I agree. Roro?
This is a tough one for me to answer. I don't know that well or that much about the business side of the games industry that well. All I know is that whoever does get this, it is going to be a huge get, as we were saying earlier, because it's not just Rocksteady that's under this banner. They have the Lego games, which sell really well.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat and the Harry Potter game that's coming out hopefully soon. And yeah, Warner Brothers has got a lot underneath their belt. So whoever does get them, it's a good buy.
See, that's
and
why That's why I think they'll split it.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Lego,
Yeah.
Harry Potter, that's so many like licensed big name properties to just all to one studio.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, these three could probably afford to buy it like that, but that's a hefty amount.
And the first thought that I had when I heard this was like Rocksteady. What if Rocksteady made an exclusive DC game for Xbox? Because obviously Sony has Spider-Man already that's exclusive to PlayStation. Yeah. If they were able to get Rocksteady and make like a superhero game, that would be kind of their, match, so to speak, for Spider-Man. The only issue is AT&T is not selling the IP rights of like Batman and that sort of thing. They're only selling the studios essentially and their original IP.
They're doing the Disney and Lucasfilm approach.
Exactly.
Where Disney a long time ago, when they acquired Lucasfilm and all that stuff, they broke up all their conglomerates as far as gaming to essentially just license out to the best game. That's why you're getting Eidos Montreal that's doing, or Crystal Dynamics, sorry, that's doing the Marvel's Avengers game, and then you have Insomniac that does like Marvel Spider-Man.
Yep.
So I imagine it's going to be the same exact thing, but individual studios, I see them going off in all different directions.
Yeah, agreed. Moving on to our next news story, Star Wars Squadrons was announced this week on Monday with a brand new trailer, a reveal trailer that looked pretty freaking cool, I gotta say. And the new trailer kind of showed off like an idea of what the game's gonna be. It was a cinematic trailer; it wasn't actual gameplay, but it kind of gives you an idea of what we're expecting. Kind of like that Rogue Squadron type of feel, like you're a pilot essentially taking control of these ships and having dogfights and such. And the interesting thing is they talked about how this game is going to have a single-player story as well as some multiplayer modes as well, which is really cool. It seems like a full-featured game, but it's only $40. It's not a full-price $60 game. And this is being made by EA Motive, who helped on Star Wars Battlefront 2 with some of like their story elements and single-player stuff in Battlefront 2. Which I know a lot of people liked some of the characters in there, but the story wasn't, necessarily as good as it could have been. But I'm kind of interested to see what they can do with this. I don't know. Roro, let's start with you this time and see what your thoughts are on this.
Yeah, I watched the trailer on the Games Fest, Summer Games Fest with Jeff Keighley when he was revealing it. I was expecting to see gameplay, or I was hoping to see gameplay. I guess I shouldn't really expect it when it comes to these types of things.
Yep.
Here's looking at you, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I got some more information, like you were saying. It's a first-person dogfighting game. It's apparently set after Rise of the Jedi. It has single player and multiplayer campaigns. You were just saying that it has cross-play apparently as well, so that's pretty cool. And there's VR support on PC and PS4, so that sounds pretty cool. I'd really like to see some gameplay. I'm sure we'll see some tomorrow because the EA Play conference is supposed to be tomorrow.
Yep.
So hopefully they'll show off some stuff there. Star Wars is a little bit weird for me right now. I'm not as a big into it as I used to be. And the EA games I've never really fallen in love with the exception of the Respawn one recently. That one was really good. I forget the name of it.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes, that one, yes. So they really turned around with this one. So I'm hoping that they continue with that streak with this one. But a dogfighting game set in Star Wars sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, I mean, the last solo one that we had dedicated was on the GameCube, if I remember correctly. Obviously, I played that and the N64 games, which, by the way, I'm really disappointed that the the Star Wars Pod Racer game for the N64 got delayed for its re-release this year. So we have no idea when that's coming out anymore. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I think this would be really cool. I feel like if it's a $40 game, it's probably going to be a shorter experience. I mean, anywhere between maybe 8 and 10 missions. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near like the minimal scope that was the Vader Immortal. I think you're going to get a lot more play through out of that. Crossplay obviously makes me think that you're going to see something similar to what you were seeing in Star Wars Battlefront 2 this time around, but probably on a bigger scale, more or less. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I mean, the only thing is this has not been announced for the next gen.
Correct.
This has only been announced for current gen, and we still don't have any release dates for the consoles coming out, but it's just very curious of new games being announced without saying, hey, they're coming to the new consoles as well.
Yeah. And they did confirm that we will get gameplay tomorrow at the EA Play event, so that's exciting. But they've kind of been teasing the EA Play event, and apparently EA has at least one surprise that hasn't been leaked. That's what I saw on Twitter. So that's kind of exciting to see what that's going to be.
They're going to say, I'm sorry for Anthem.
Well, maybe.
That's the surprise.
I hope that's there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let my girlfriend in. She's at the door. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good, man.
You're good. So, I hope that's going to be something good, like maybe Dead Space remaster or something like that. I don't know.
I thought I had a dream the other day about that, honestly.
Whoa.
I just want that.
Foretold the future.
I just want that. Or just fix 3.
Yeah.
If you want to re-release 3 and fix it, I'd be okay with that too.
I agree.
One of those two options.
Yeah. Moving on to our next news story, Xbox Smart Delivery got a update actually a few days ago about physical media being supported. So this is interesting because I had no idea that they were going to do this. I thought that Smart Delivery was mainly just going to be their digital way of rewarding players for buying Xbox games and being able to play them on next gen for no additional charge. But actually, if you buy a physical Xbox One disc, you can still use that physical Xbox One disc to play a Series X version of that game for free, which is super cool. And essentially, like any game that supports Smart Delivery would be like that. So Cyberpunk supports that. So whenever that port comes out for Series X, you can use your Xbox One disc to download that version.
So it'll
of the
read
game.
my PS4 version in the Xbox?
Yeah, no, it won't do that.
I tried.
It won't do that. So I thought that was really cool. Kind of a follow-up on the Smart Delivery piece to kind of give us more information on that.
I mean, obviously, when their I guess more presentation comes out, like Sony's in July, I'm assuming we're going to see both consoles side by side at that point, because Sony wasn't even really rumored to have an all-digital edition.
Yeah.
I mean, Xbox has been since the very beginning rumored of it, so I'm assuming you're going to see that, and I have a feeling, yes, they've talked about it in outlets, but they're probably going to bring it up on their main stage as far as how this whole smart delivery system is going to work.
Yeah. Agreed. Roro, do you have anything to add to that, or are you?
No, I think it's great. I'm really glad that they're doing this. I've always loved. I guess in a sense this is backwards compatibility, but I love the customer move, being able to just buy it once and have it forever. Nintendo needs to get on this.
Yeah.
this spring for sure. They're horrible with this and having fans rebuy their games. But I'm glad to see that Sony and Microsoft are doing that.
I think I've bought in Super Mario Brothers 3 at least 10 times.
Yeah.
It's definitely Super Metroid Punch.
Yeah. Consumer-friendly moves, definitely the play. Moving on, Xbox Series X's dashboard has been announced that, actually not announced, but it's been told by Tom Warren from Windows Central. He got a tip, essentially, that said that the Xbox Series X dashboard is going to be the same dashboard as the Xbox One has. So this could be kind of taken two different ways. He said that obviously speed and performance improvements are coming with that, as well as the redesigned store that has been leaked as well. So obviously this could be taken one of two ways. It could be taken as, they aren't changing anything, so it may not, be revolutionary. But in my eyes, and I know I don't necessarily follow the same agreement as a lot of other people out there, but I actually like the Xbox dashboard as it is now. I know there's some people that have problems with it or whatever, but like in terms of the guide, in my opinion, is far better than the PlayStation's guide. I get lost in the PlayStation's guide pretty significantly. The Xbox guide is very structured similarly to like the 360 blades back in the day, where you have the blades going across. That's what I like about the Xbox One Dash right now. The home screen, I don't really care about. Honestly, I don't care what my home screen looks like, because that's 99% of the time you're doing your navigation through the guide on Xbox. And that is very different on PlayStation, where you're doing most of your navigation from the home screen, whereas the guide is kind of less useful for that kind of stuff.
I just find the dichotomy between you and I so interesting on that, and I don't know, Roro, if you feel that same way, but when it comes to like me being on the Xbox, I get so lost. Personally, I don't find it user-friendly. Now, that could just due to console preference.
Right.
I guess what I primarily play, minus exclusives, but I would actually be more in favor of the blades. I actually like that about the 360. I thought their menu was better than the PlayStation 3's, but I like how PlayStation 4 is doing it. It's just... I feel like PlayStation 4 just flows so seamlessly into each other. I will say for the longest time, the search on the store sucked, because you had to like go throughout every letter, but now that it's fixed, it's a lot easier to find stuff. But yeah, anymore, I would definitely go over the PS4, but the Xbox, I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously my plan is to get a Series X as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm in the same boat as Sean. I find the Xbox dashboard a little hard for me to navigate. It's a little clustered for my taste. I do agree as well. I like the 360 layout. The blades are awesome. But yeah, I do prefer the PS4 layout right now. And again, as Sean was saying, it might be because I spend most of my time there. I've gotten used to it.
Yep.
But yeah.
So, quick question for you guys. Do you guys use the PlayStation guide, or do you mainly go to like the home screen and navigate that way? How do you guys normally navigate?
Generally home screen if I need to.
Yeah. Me too.
Which I feel like I think that's the difference. Yeah, like when you're using the guide on Xbox, it's essentially using the 360 blade system, because it has the tiles back and forth, and there's like six slides on each side. But when you're at the home screen on Xbox, it's less intuitive, because they're just basically boxes, and you have vertical scrolling. So could they improve the home screen? Absolutely. But like I said, I don't freaking use the home screen barely at all.
Look at it this way: no matter what, none of us said Nintendo Switch has the best home screen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If there's something that needs a refresh,
that is true.
That's it. Yeah.
So, moving on to kind of clean up some stuff from last week from the PlayStation event. What's that?
You wanted to include that after.
Oh yeah. Actually, you're right. I didn't move that. This is a fluid show, So, speaking of user interfaces, that was a great transition, right? Oh, yeah, you need to do that next. Oh, yeah, I better do that one next. PlayStation 5 user interface has been announced to be a complete overhaul from the PlayStation 4 user interface. So, this is very much the opposite of what Microsoft is doing. So, I think this will be interesting to see what they do, because I think that PS3 to PS4, I don't think it was, a huge leap. They had the cross media bar or whatever you call that on PS3, and it's very similar on PS4 where you have that left to right scrolling to kind of navigate your main tiles, and then you have content up above and below it, which is intuitive in and of itself. But I don't know, what do you guys think that we're going to see like a drastic departure from that for them?
I think yes, and I'm not excited for that part. I don't know if you're kind of thinking the same thing, Roro, but that's just my gut right now.
Yeah, I'm always a little worried when it comes to new consoles and the new menus that they whip up, because it's always, you never know what to expect. I'm hoping it's something that I fall in love with or get used to easy. As long as they don't bring back the PS Vita buttons, I think I'll be fine. However, the scroll
that could be so true with the DualSense controller.
That'll be something. But yeah, if it's more of the same and just like a little bit more compact, I'll be fine. But it's exciting and also scary at the same time to see what they will have us look at for the next however many years of this console.
Yeah, because didn't Xbox like redo completely their design after the launch of Xbox One?
Xbox has redone their design like once every 2 years or something. They changed more than I changed my
And maybe
house.
that's our uncomfortability of it, is just that PlayStation 4, from what I can remember when I first got that console, it feels like it has not changed in 7 years. So maybe that's why, and yes, thinking about that does make me a little nervous as far as the especially because a lot of people use their gaming devices as media devices too.
Yeah.
So I mean, the ease of which I can get to any of my like Hulu, Netflix, any of that stuff, if it's a little bit more cumbersome, like I actually feel that Xbox is, that might not be a good way to go.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see what design they come up with, though. Now, moving on to some cleanup from last week.
There you go.
So, Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, we just wanted to clarify that both of those are timed exclusive on PlayStation 5. We learned that the following week. So that's at least a good thing, I guess, for Xbox players, that it's not going to be completely exclusive. They didn't announce like timing or what that's going to look like, whether it's, a month or a year. Destiny content was exclusive for a freaking year for a long time, which kind of irked me as a Xbox guy. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess it's not earth-shattering news, but kind of a good thing. More people get to play. So, next up we have Horizon Zero Dawn. Roro has been announced. Horizon Zero Dawn. This has gone awful, Roro. I've messed up everything. Forbidden West, yes. Forbidden West has been announced for release in 2021. So this is really good news, obviously, because anytime we can get Horizon closer to us, the better we are, because Horizon Zero Dawn was an absolutely phenomenal game. Love that game. Guerrilla did a great job, and that trailer looked amazing last week. So how soon do you think we'll get this, Roro? Do you think we'll get it Q1 or Q4?
I think it's sooner than we think. I'm hoping that it is. I don't think we'll get it like February like we did when it did launch. I'm thinking more of a summer sort of thing.
Yeah.
For 2021.
Yeah, that would make sense. So yeah, I'm very excited. I think this is good to actually, put a release date out, or year at least out there, so that people know this is coming next year. This isn't coming like 3 years from now or whatever. Because I think that was one of my concerns we talked about last week, was just, how many of these games are coming in the next 12 months. So
it'd be crazy if Breath of the Wild 2 releases around the same time again.
Yeah. Oh,
as
yeah.
her reason.
That actually would be funny, and actually the timing would make sense.
Yeah.
In terms of like Nintendo always announces something and then says, "Hey, it's out in a few months." So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Shall
possible. That would be hilarious if they both came out like May of next year or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Certainly interesting. Moving on to the next news story, we have The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which is free on GOG right now if you own it on any platform. So I threw this in here because I thought this was super interesting. If you already own the game on any platform, Steam, PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, whatever, they're giving you a free DRM-free version of The Witcher 3 on PC. So all you have to do is tie your account that you purchased the game on to this account, and they will give it to you for free. I think that's an awesome deal. Obviously, it only benefits the gamer, and The Witcher 3 is a 4 or 5 year old game I guess more than that, 6-year-old game at this point. So I don't think that CD Projekt Red is really going to be losing out much from this. And they're just kind of, giving goodwill essentially for this. So I think that's a very good thing.
I think it's great. More places to play is always good. Definitely an upgrade as well if you have it on PS4 and you're going to try it on PC. It'd be cool to see the difference there.
Agreed. And like it might even give you an idea of what that game would look like on next gen, because if they do re-release it on next gen, they might make improvements like that. Or even if you just play on next gen natively, you'll have that ability to play 60 frames per second, and you may not have as high quality resolution or textures without them updating the game. But I believe there's a 60 frames per second mode on both next gen consoles, on the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. So that would at least give you a more consistent frame rate than current gen, I think, because I think it does chug a little bit on current gen, but that's good news. Moving on to our next news story, and Sean's being quiet because he has abandoned us to go somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Okay.
He should be right back, but
Okay.
let's see. Our next news story. Grounded has a new 30-minute single-player demo for Xbox Insiders. So Grounded is the new Obsidian game that they announced at, I want to say, their event in December for, what's that event called? The Xbox XO19, XO20, whatever it is. XO20 for the year of... No. What year are we in? We're in 2020 right now, so XO19. Yeah, XO19, they announced this game. I actually played this a little bit before the podcast started. I downloaded it and started it. So I'll kind of leave that there until we talk about games we're playing. But yeah, I think this is cool to kind of give people an early look at what Grounded's going to look like when it finally releases.
For sure. This type of game isn't something that I usually gravitate towards, but the setting is so cool. Like it's just a cool setting that I think I might try it out. But open world survival games, or survival games in general, akin to like Ark and The Forest, aren't stuff that I usually gravitate towards. But this looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree completely. I agree. The setting is definitely the coolest part.
Yeah.
Next, we have a new female Ratchet & Clank character that we already saw in last week's trailer, but Insomniac kind of casually just dropped this to us and said that she's playable, a playable character in Ratchet & Clank. She's brand new, and we don't really know a whole lot about her yet, but I think this is really cool for, expanding the horizons of what Ratchet & Clank games can be. So I think, what do you think, Roro? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was hoping that this would be the case. I'm glad that it has been confirmed. But my only question is there a female Clank out there, or is there a female alternate universe Clank?
That's a good point. I don't know.
Ratchet.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's super cute. Happy that we get to play her. I'm super excited for this game. But yeah, it'd be cool to jump between the two, see if there's any differences in gameplay, obviously, to see what are her strengths and weaknesses versus Clank's strengths and or Ratchet's strengths and weaknesses. So it'll be cool to see the duality of them. Yeah.
Agreed completely. This last news story I think you will get very excited about. I'm just going on a hunch here. This is just a hunch. But a new Pokemon Snap game was announced today. So, oh my gosh, I think everyone as a kid is freaking out because Pokemon Snap was something that everyone loved on GameCube. Was it GameCube, right?
N64.
N64, that's right. But everyone loved that game, and it's making a comeback. What do you think about that, Roro?
So, you made a hunch, but I've never played it before.
Ah, dang it!
Yeah, I know that was a good hunch, though. I would have guessed the same as well. But I think we talked about this last week with Demon Souls, how they're remaking. We're in an era where they're remaking a lot of stuff, like Shadow of the Colossus. I never played until the remake came out. Resident Evil, never played a Resident Evil game until our remake came out. So, I mean, keep them coming. So there's a lot of games that I missed when I was younger, like Pokemon Snap, that I know are super nostalgic to people. I saw a lot of reactions today. So I can't imagine how they're feeling right now. I was excited to see it, even though I'd never played it before. But I'm happy for everyone who had played it, and for me, so I'm going to finally experience it in probably its best form. So keep these remakes coming.
Yeah, Snap was my jam. First off, it was your only console Pokemon game that you could get because everything else was either handheld. Yeah. But I remember like this would like be like leading up to like the nights of doing like connecting all your N64s together and everything and playing like slappers on 007 and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You play this game to warm up and try to find everything you can because there's 151 to find if I remember right, or no 152 because they put Mew in there. So like you had to do so many odd things to do that. Even
to get Ditto, you had to do something crazy.
Yeah. Well, even to get you can unlock Mew's level, but even to get a picture of him, you had to do something like this is before the internet, so you pretty much had to find out from friends, like on how exactly to get the picture for him. But I just remember like it was such a fun thing to see like what you could do. I mean, I don't think it looks the best still. I mean, it is on a Switch, so I understand technically older console, whatever. I do always like what they do with the art design. The water looks pretty. Just the Pokemon, I don't know. I think Detective Pikachu kind of ruins what Pokemon could be. Yeah. Because that movie, I think, gave a really good, realistic vision of them. And that's kind of where I wish it would kind of go towards instead of this anime stuff. But I do also understand how that's the series. Yeah. But, I mean, this is exciting for, I think, not just Pokemon fans, but, like, just people that nostalgia. Or even, like you said, Roro, people that missed out on this type of franchise before.
I'm still waiting for that Pokemon game that is like a third-person adventure game where you have like a wide-open world that you can explore and like catch Pokemon and like I just feel like that's such a missed opportunity, huh?
That's Pokemon. You just described the game of Pokemon.
No, but you're playing like you get what I'm saying. You're playing like from a top-down perspective. You're not actually like you're not experiencing it from the character's perspective as much because you're kind of
the new ones. The new ones aren't as top-down as you think they are.
Yeah, I mean they still are. They're 3D, but they're not. You're not playing it as if you're like in the shoes of them. You're more watching.
I'd be okay if Pokemon Rumble came back, like from the N64. So they had this generation on the they re-released it on the Switch. It was for the Wii U, but the Pokken tournament, which is like you actually played as Pokemon and you fought as them and stuff like that, but it was only a handful of them.
Oh, Rumble was in the arena, right?
Yes. And Rumble, you could actually bring like your Charizard from your Game Boy with an adapter into like the N64 game. So like I would really like some sort of adaptation for people with, I guess from the Sword and Shield Pokemon. Again, this is never a series that really grabbed me too much. I was never in the craze, but I do find their mechanics very interesting and very user-friendly, too.
Agreed. I know there was a couple other Pokemon games they announced today, too. They're really...
Pokemon Smile.
Yeah. They were kind of
Is that the toothbrush thing?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Out of in left field, like, what? A toothbrush game? I guess kids might play it.
Yeah.
Where are they based, the Pokemon Company?
They're based in Japan.
Japan
yes,
makes some odd games, bro.
Weird stuff. Yeah.
The other one I think was like a mobile, like puzzle type game.
That's on mobile,
Captain
yeah.
Mix.
Yeah.
So it's on the Switch too. It's coming. It's going to be free to start, is what they said.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, Nintendo with that language, they've done that like twice now with free to start.
Free to start.
Because that's how whatchamacallit, Mario Kart Tour is. It's free to start.
Free to start. And
If
then
you want that $5 pass every month, though. I haven't played that game for like 4 months, by the way.
Oh,
I haven't played it in so long.
I played it like the week it came out and then never played it again. All right, so that's our news stories this week. Moving on to the games we are playing. I am playing still my Master Chief Collection Legendary Solo Run.
Jesus Christ.
I have completed a lot since the last time. I completed Halo 2, completed Halo 3, and I've started Halo 4. I'm about 5 missions into Halo 4 already. So I'm rolling on this Legendary Solo Run. And let me just say, Halo 4 is far easier than Halo 2 and Halo CE. My goodness, it's so easy on Legendary.
Halo CE on Legendary is hard.
Is ungodly.
Yes.
And 2 as well. 2 is as well with the freaking sniper jackals that snipe
2
you
I didn't
instantly.
find as hard, at least when I played on the Xbox.
Yeah, go back and play because those sniper jackals are annoying.
You have no idea. These next 2 months with the releases are terrible for PlayStation people.
Yeah, that's true.
Last of Us this week. Next week is, 2 weeks from then is Iron Man VR. Then 2 weeks after that is Ghost of Tsushima.
True. That is true.
oh boy.
The other game I am playing is I kind of hinted at this in the news stories this week, but Grounded. I played a little bit. Sean watched right before the podcast started, and it's interesting. I'd say the most interesting part about it is the world, as kind of we hinted at, Roro. The world is very interesting. It's obviously you're playing a miniaturized version of yourself, and you're kind of exploring this gigantic,
It's a sadistic
backyard.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
It is, yeah. But it's very much a survival game. It feels like almost like a Minecraft-esque game, except, in the form of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
And I was saying it gave me more of a Don't Starve vibe.
Yeah. It's definitely a game that if you like survival games, you might like it. I might dabble in it a little bit, but it's not going to be something that I'll want to necessarily go back to. Obviously, this is from a smaller team at Obsidian. I think that's like 10 people at most that are working on this. So this is just one of their smaller projects. They have 2 large teams working on projects. One made Outer Worlds. The other one presumably will be showing something next month. So I think it's interesting. So, Roro, what about you? What are you playing?
Right now I have been playing a lot of Destiny. The season 11 just started last week, Season of the Arrivals, and they're, readying us for the fall release of the new expansion. So I've been playing a lot of that, getting ready for the expansion. They released a new public event called Contact, which is kind of teasing us with the pyramid ships that they've been teasing for God knows how long. It's finally happening in September, so Destiny fans are pretty excited right now. It's definitely in a better place than it was last season, so I hope the momentum continues with whatever they're releasing this season. We have Moments of Triumph coming up at the end in June, I believe. But we still have a ways to go to September, so we'll see if I fall off, but I'm having some fun again in Destiny, so I'm enjoying myself.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So I'm still on Days Gone. Really loving the open world still. Like, it is getting more and more stressful as I go deeper and deeper. I talked about last week, I did battle my first swarm and I left. Well, I actually tried, or horde. I actually tried to go head on with the horde because I did finally get a machine gun. Mm-hmm. I think I lasted 2 minutes, give or take. I got so overran. I will say, to the credit of the original PlayStation, because that's what I have at launch, to handle the amount that Days Gone is throwing at you with those amount of characters, pretty good. No chugging or anything like that. I completely still understand all the review scores. The story is just asinine. It doesn't make any sense how things keep like falling into place and everything. Some of the characters just randomly like, oh yeah, I had a mission for you. Remember this thing that we talked about? That there was no exposition ever given. So it's like, oh, I don't remember. I have no idea who these characters are. What are you trying to tell me? But I think the game was made more for its open world than anything. And really it's just making me excited for Friday to get what we're about to talk. Especially these two games were compared for so long in development.
Don't even compare in terms of gameplay.
Obviously, but they were so like, why would Sony do 2 first-party zombie games?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, okay, Ben says that it's not zombies, they're freakers. And if I hear that, my God, I'm going to lose it. I swear to God.
Totally different.
Stop calling it a freaker.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I do like the mechanic of the bike, and I understand that it looks like we're going to be riding a horse in Last of Us 2, but the bike is so nice to have, minus the stress level of gas, because you do understand how much it eats gas. But, yeah, I'm probably just going to play it until Friday, and then I'll more than likely be done.
Cool.
I was honestly on the fence of getting it too because I saw that it was on sale.
Yeah, the days of play.
Maybe I'll pick it up, but I think I'll just keep waiting until Friday because I was in the same boat. I was like, I really want to play like a zombie game right now. Days Gone, I still haven't played it yet, but I'll wait.
Yeah, I just figured, I mean, that's the best sale I've seen in a while.
Yeah, it was really good, yeah.
Because I picked up that Medieval and the second Doom game, but I haven't played the second Doom game yet.
Oh, that's good. So good.
I know, but
Maybe I'll get that instead.
Last of Us 2 is just going to encapsulate me for like the weekend, and then I'll be done, so that I can start it after that.
Just the weekend?
That's all it took me the last time.
Well.
Dude, when you start that, you want to finish that.
Yeah, until you see that. Anyways, moving on.
Jesus.
Games we are playing
Is done.
We're moving on to the topic of the show this week, which is The Last of Us Part 2 reviews. So, obviously, The Last of Us Part 2 comes out on Friday. We have gotten a lot of reviews. There's tons of perfect reviews that have come through, including IGN and Game Informer that gave perfect reviews. I just want to preface this by saying I'm not surprised that it's reviewing well when I've been talking crap about it the entire time, because I think the gameplay and the mechanics of The Last of Us, I think it's going to look beautiful, it's going to play amazing, and it's going to be such a fantastic gameplay experience. But my issue always came back to the story, and
Did you spoil it for yourself like an idiot?
to be fair, my friend spoiled it for me, and he's literally like the biggest Last of Us fan that I know. And when he told me that the story ruined, when he had it ruined for him by someone on Twitter, he said that literally ruined the game for him in terms of what they're doing with the story, not necessarily it being spoiled. And he's like, man, I'm not even buying this. So at that point, I was like, all right, you got to tell me what this is because I may not want to buy it. And he had an Ellie edition pre-ordered. I had a collector's edition pre-ordered. That shows how big of fans we are. And when he told me that, I was like, all right, I have to stew on this a little bit. And then I said, 2 weeks ago, last week, that I ended up canceling it. But I don't know, man. I think it's going to be very divisive in terms of the story, and I think it's going to be. There's two angles to why it's going to be divisive. The one I don't necessarily agree with it being divisive because of that reason. I'm not going to go into that in terms of story, but the other reason, in my opinion, is very warranted because. That's all I'm gonna say.
See, I don't know why you do this to yourself, man. I want to experience it fresh. That's why I've been on blackout.
But
I saw my first trailer for it yesterday. This is the first time I saw a trailer. Just because I knew no matter what I was getting it. So I am just stoked. It looks like you're playing Ellie most of the time, if not all the time. I know some reviews alluded to maybe another playable character, probably Joel, I guess. And I did not see her in the water on a board. That makes it even better, makes it worth it. She's learned how to swim after how many years?
Yep.
So I am just super excited. I didn't really care as far as the scores. I know you're talking about divisiveness.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally don't think it gets more divisive than Death Stranding. because literally it was either people loved it or hated it. There was no in between.
Yeah.
And I trust Naughty Dog with the story, regardless. I love It's hard to remember, but in 2013, a lot of people were not happy about Joel's ending.
I liked
how
it.
he ended it. I did too. I appreciated how they did that.
I wish they would have ended it.
But again, people were not happy with how they did it because they thought they were playing a good person. And you're not playing a good person. You're playing somebody that's surviving, that's selfish in the apocalypse.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen what Daniel was talking about. I don't think I've seen everything that has been out there. I'm still super excited for Friday. I've seen a lot of people who've seen those leaks who have now played the game say that play the game still, and that context really does matter, and that we'll see. What I'm trying to get is that I'm going to play on Friday, make up my own mind about it. I've been excited since they announced it back in 2016, I think. But in terms of the reviews, we've seen a lot of 10s out of 10s, but my favorite reviews have been the ones that have been a little bit more critical of it. Like Skill Up's review, he was like, literally the thumbnail of his video was like, I did not enjoy this at all. And I was like, okay, let me watch this video and see what he thought about it. And he brought up some really good points. And some of the points that he brought up were actually things that I find positives. So it's interesting how we all see this game and he's like, this is going to be, the story's not going to be good, or the gameplay is not going to be good. But someone else like me could say the story is freaking amazing and the gameplay, I love the gameplay. And Callie Plaguey's review as well, she gave it an 8 out of 10, which is crazy to think that's a quote unquote negative review for this game.
Yeah.
Because it's getting 10s everywhere else, and 8 out of 10 is like, you think that's quote unquote bad, but that's still a great score. But her review and Skillup's review have been some of my favorites that have come out of it, even though they were more negative on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still super excited for this game, regardless of the leaks and a lot of the backlash that it's getting, even though it's not out yet. But yeah.
Maybe I'm way off base from this whole thing, but
I have a physical edition, so you can borrow it.
When you guys play it, you guys can confirm with me. We can have like a little spoiler cast, and I can kind of confirm the things that I know or have seen, and just make sure that that's what happened. Because the thing is, knowing the things that I know, I would have been upset, like very upset, if I had bought the game and then experienced what they give you. I would have been frustrated with what they did to certain things in that game. And again, being very vague, trying not to spoil anything, but that's the whole reason why I trust in what people were telling me in terms of the leak, but we also have to see what the game actually ends up being. So I will also trust what you guys are telling me after you guys actually experience it.
Well, and I'm just like thinking of like my first experiences into Last of Us. Like I can remember when you get to that suburban setting. When I can't remember what the guy character's name is, but like Joel knows him from previous dealings. Yeah. And like they were like, you're just sneaking throughout that entire suburbia, and it is very stressful because there's clickers, there's humans too towards the end, and I just remember like weaving in and out of backyards, crafting on the fly, and that's what I'm kind of looking forward to as Ellie is like, how am I going to get through this situation and adapt to it? And from that one trailer I watched, don't fuck with Ellie, Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah. I'm somebody who obviously enjoyed The Last of Us for its story. I also really enjoyed the gameplay of it too. I know that's one of the most divisive things about the original game. People are like, "Oh, I love the story, but the gameplay sucks." I loved both, so I'm really excited to at least enjoy the gameplay of this one. If for some reason I don't like the story, I'll still have a fun time playing it because it's definitely an improvement on the original in terms of the crafting and the weapons that you can use and the stealth and everything. So,
and I think that is important. I think that's an important thing to note is the gameplay is going to be phenomenal, I think, based on what we've seen. And obviously the game's beautiful. And just like what you said, the mechanics have just been improved dramatically as far as interactions with the clickers, and I'm sure humans as well. more sophisticated AI. I feel like the gameplay is going to be very good, which is one reason why I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, should I be getting this? And just for the gameplay alone, I don't know if that, because I look back on The Last of Us so fondly. It is one of my favorite PlayStation games of all time. And I just think about how much, like you said, Roro, I enjoyed the gameplay, I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed all of it. And I just don't know. I don't know if it would do that justice by playing something that wouldn't satisfy me on all of those fronts, I guess, for The Last of Us. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm going to make you borrow it.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't have to play it.
You do, actually.
I could throw it in the garbage.
Legally. There's millions of people watching every day.
Send an angry email to Neil Druckmann, say, what did you do? But, anyways, we'll see on Friday. We'll probably have, you guys will have impressions, I'm sure, next week on next week's episode.
Yep.
So, anyways, we are counting down the days to the July Xbox event. It better come soon, because I need Halo Infinite gameplay, please.
I want to be clear. You said we. That wasn't a we on that one.
No, remember, Roro, you talked about this for hours last week, remember?
Yeah.
Was that in the missing
there's
audio?
There's no audio to prove it. Otherwise,
so then there's no audio to prove you're right.
Yeah, well, anyways, that needs to come soon. So, thank you guys, everyone, for watching live. Just a reminder again, we're live each and every week, usually on Wednesdays. I believe next week, as long as you guys are good, will probably be Wednesday again.
Yeah.
Because I think there is an event next Thursday for Cyberpunk, but, I feel like we could hold that for next week because we have other things we could talk about next week, including the EA Play event that's happening tomorrow night. That happens 7 p.m. tomorrow night, our time. So keep your eyes out for that. Thank you, Roro. Thank you, Sean. Much love, and keep on gaming.
Deuces.